What's going on, y'all? I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco, and you're listening to Occupy the Media, because that's what we do best here is Occupy, CNN, MSNBC, all the mainstream media outlets. Expose the propaganda, become your own media, and make sure that we keep pushing Ron Paul's name out there until he is president. Real quick, I just want to say Ron Paul Radio is listener supported. We need your help to stay on the air and fight the mainstream media blackout. Go to ronpaulradio.com and donate via the chip-in on the right-hand side of the page. Remember that every donation of $20 or more gets a free blimp, courtesy of our sponsors at ronpaulblimps.com. Again, go to ronpaulradio.com and donate via the chip-in on the right-hand side of the page. And you guys can join us on ronpaulradio.com. Click on Listen Live, and you can join us in the chat room. Any feedback, any questions, definitely feel free to post it in there. Okay, so if you guys didn't catch me earlier today, we had a bunch of headlines that we were talking about earlier in the show. Don't forget I'm on every day, Monday through Friday, 10 to 12 noon Eastern Time and 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time as well. Okay, so just to give you a quick recap, some of the headlines that we have. Real quick, also announcements. We want to make sure that we get the word out there that today is a Texas primary. Don't forget to vote in the Texas primary today. Unfortunately, I'm just waiting for the news to give Mitt Romney the nomination. We've been reading articles about that. We're going to get to that in a minute. But they're going to try to give it to him today and claim that he has reached the goal of the 1148, I think it is, for the nomination. But we have to wait and see on that. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. At the Brad blog, this is bradblog.com. If you missed this, Paul supporters robbed at county convention in Georgia. Win some justice against establishment GOP. So those that were robbed and became others became delegates, and they've taken that back. So now because they've won illegally, Ron Paul supporters in this case won their case. And those people won't be seated as delegates. You guys can check out that article at bradblog.com. Also, they're at bradblog.com. GOP in California hired a professional con artist who turned in thousands of fraudulent voter registrations in a $50,000 bounty scheme. More great news from the GOP. And they wonder why we don't support them. We wonder why... They have a lot of the GOPs nationwide have problems raising money. Nobody wants to be in the Republican Party unless Ron Paul's in it. Okay, let's see. Here we go at newser.com. Romney to clinch the nomination today as Texas votes. Mitt heads for Trump fundraiser. So, yeah, Mitt Romney can't even go to the states that he's winning to celebrate because nobody's voting for him. It's not real. So he's going to go to a Donald Trump fundraiser in Las Vegas. This is what politicians do. Ron Paul goes and talks to the people. They go and talk to the bankers and the politicians, their buddies, everyone else who doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what else. Mitt Romney to officially clinch the GOP nomination Tuesday. That's at the Washington Post. So they're gearing up. They're getting ready to hand it over to him, and media blackout on Ron Paul is going to get even worse. Let's see. At CBS News, Giuliani downplays old claim that his record on jobs is better than Romney's. It's coming back to haunt them. All these guys that are endorsing Romney, it's coming back. All the things that they said back in the last campaign is coming to haunt Romney because all Obama got to do is play the debates from last time. Play the debates from 2008. That's all you need to take Romney down. His own squad will beat him. What else? Crazy article at Washington Times Communities. Ron Paul, a fade or revolutionary. Disrespecting Ron Paul supporters again, saying that we're pretty much just a fade. You guys can let her know how we feel about that. That's at Washington Times. Ron Paul, fade or revolutionary. What else? Russia Today. No photo, no problem. NATO ban its Afghan forces from taking war zone pics. So if you're in the military, they don't want you taking pictures no more because, we might see people pissing on other dead bodies and doing gruesome shit. Doing gruesome things. doing gruesome things. But unfortunately, it doesn't need to be happening in the first place. That's the main problem, is why is it happening? Why are we there? If we weren't there, we'll have to worry about photos coming from the war zone. Also, at Russia Today, Chicago police want their money for working during NATO summit. So they don't even want to pay the police department for their work at NATO summit, for their overtime. This is what we need to tell the police. We're on the same side as you. You're on our side. They don't care about you either. So turn around and defend us. Stop defending them. What else? At the Irish Times, a quote from Max Keiser: bad debt banks should go bankrupt. It isn't capitalism if you get handouts and you get bailed out. So we've been trying to say that's what Ron Paul is saying. You're not supposed to get bailed out. That's at the irishtimes.com. Also at boston.com, Massachusetts GOP moves to invalidate caucus ballots. Not surprised by that. Romney loses in his home state. What else? Press TV. Occupiers to protest the crackdown during NATO Chicago summit. We got to expose the police brutality that's going on. There's so much of it going on. We can't keep up with all of it. What else? At UPI.com, Politics 2012, Ron Paul's strategy keeps things interesting. They had actually spoken with the founder of Blue Republican Movement, interviewed by the United Press International. That's UPI.com. And that's founder Robin Corner. So you guys can check that out at UPI.com or go to Daily Paul. That's also up there. The House to examine a plan for United Nations to regulate the Internet. This is at thehill.com. House to examine plan for United Nations to regulate the Internet. So now, you know, the Internet's backfiring on all of them. All these nations are signing on to it. Let's see, what else is going on? Oklahoma Republican Convention results should be disallowed. Nice little piece right there at newsok.com. Nice point here that was brought up by naturalnews.com. Not a single Democrat voted in favor of ending FDA raids on raw milk farmers. When Rand Paul introduced that, no one was in favor of it, not one Democrat. So it just goes to show it doesn't matter right or left, red or blue, they're all the same. They don't care. You know, when the FDA can raid us for regardless, whatever it is, and the FBI can raid us, the feds, all of them. They're for all of it. And also at Natural News, more than 110,000 U.S. soldiers remain on antidepressants and sedatives. Nice little statistic there. Libertarian Review.us. Defense Department seeks legal authority to deploy reservists onto American streets. At Canada, freepress.com. Obama campaign again urging supporters to report on nonbelievers. So yes, you know about websites talking bad about Obama, talking against Obama. We need you to snitch on them. Let us know who they are. We'll take care of them. We'll get rid of them. Obama campaign. Let's see what else. At Press TV, BBC uses a fake photo for a hula massacre in Syria. Got caught using a fake photo from 2003 of a bunch of kids that got slaughtered. Also, Press TV, U.S. terror strikes killed 31 people in 72 hours. But it's not our foreign policy. That's not why they hate us. Afghan authorities seize 2% of drugs produced in Afghanistan. So we're fighting a drug war here and there, and it's not working, but we're paying for it. Cops taser a pregnant woman 3 times over driving violation. That's at federaljack.com. Is America going to war? Anti-Iranian propaganda in high gear. That's at Global Research. It just goes on and on, you guys. We'll come back and talk more about these headlines. Have a couple clips for you. I'm your host, Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media. We'll be back.